Hello class. Today we are learning how to translate words into expressions. So our essential question is, how do I create expressions/equations from words? Learning intention. I'm learning to translate words into expressions and to simplify them. So we've got two warm-up questions. Both of them deal with order of operations. So as you're working, please pause the video and see if you can complete these two on your own. If you can, then you know you have understood the concept. If not, we need more practice. Pause the video now. Okay, as we are using PEMDAS, order of operations, we know that P stands for parentheses. So I look at both of my parentheses. Inside the parentheses, I have to look for exponents, then multiplication or division because they are equal, then addition or subtraction because they are equal. So as I am looking, 1 times 4, 2 divided by 2, those are equal. Then the last one is addition and subtraction, so I can do it all at once. The negative 2 is not going to change. Bring your parenthesis down. 1 times 4 is 4, minus 2 divided by 2 is 1, plus 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 minus 3 is 5. I still have to simplify one more time. So negative 2 in parentheses. 4 minus 1 is 3 plus 5. Okay, I'm ready to complete. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6 plus 5. Okay, remember, if we're adding and they are opposite signs, we actually find their difference. 6 minus 5 is 1. Then I look back and see which has the bigger base. Well, negative 6, the 6 is bigger than 5, so I have to keep that negative sign. Okay, if you got it right, great. If not, pause the video and see which part you were unsure of. So for the next one, 2 sets of parentheses. First thing I have to look for is exponents in my parentheses. I've got 2 sets of exponents, so that is my first task. Now, I'm not going to use the X for multiplication. I'm going to use a dot. 5 times 5 is 25 divided by 15 minus 5 plus 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, I've got the first set done. Now let's look at the next step. I have to multiply and I've got to add. I can do those because they're in different parentheses, so I can do those on my next step. 3 times 25. If I have 3/4, it is 75 cents is correct. Divided by 15 minus 5 plus 4 is 9. Okay, now there's different ways you can do the division. What I like to show you is the way that it works best for me. It might not work best for you, but if it does, great. If not, use your own method. We can always use the long division, but that can get kind of complicated. So let's think of what 75 is. If I take 15 and I add 15 more, I have 30. I can do that again. If I take 15 and add 15 more, I have 30 again. 30 plus 30 is 60. I need 75. That is 15 more. So by dividing by 15, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 9. Okay, pause and look at what we've done over here if it's still confusing. We could have also done the same over here. If I would have put in 6, then I would have had 60 plus 30, and that would have been too much. So I would have had to drop back to 5, and the same thing would happen. 5 times 5 is 25, carry a 2, I've got 75, and I have 0 remainder. Either way works. The way you're going to do it is the way that works for you. Okay, 5 minus 9. Once again, they're opposite signs. So 9 minus 5 is 4, but the negative is attached to the 9, so I need to make it a negative 4. Okay, we're looking at what we need to do. What words do we need to understand mathematically when we look at a written phrase? So we've got all these words, and we're going to start by circling all the words that mean addition. I'm going to circle these. Okay, quotient, no, that's division. Fewer, no, if we're adding, it's getting more. Every, nope. By a factor of, nope. Some, yes. Minus, no. Goes into, no. Product, no. Total, the total of two numbers, we're adding them. Less than, nope. Average, nope. Each, nope. Decrease by, no. Times, no. Together, I'm putting two numbers together. A nickel together with 2 dimes gives me 25 cents. Okay, per, this is one that is confusing to some of my students. Think of miles per hour. That's a division. Rate. Your miles per hour is your rate of change. So that's also division. More than, that would work. 5 more than 6 gives me 11. Increase by. 6 increased by 7 gives me 13. Cut or split into, nope. Reduced by, nope. So we have done all the words that mean subtraction. So now let's go, or addition, those are your addition words. So now let's go to the words that mean subtraction. And we're going to put a box around them. Quotient, nope. Fewer, yes. Every, no. Factor of, no. Minus. Goes into, nope. Product, nope. Less than. Average, nope. Each, nope. Decreased by. Times, nope. Per and rate, we've already discussed. Cut or split into, nope. Reduced by, yes. Are these all the words we'll use? No. Sometimes the words have different meanings, just like we can use when we're doing our English. We know different words have different meanings, and some words have different meanings depending on their context. So now we've done addition, subtraction. We're going to underline all the words that mean multiplication. Well, quotient is actually division. Every. For every 5 units, I go up by $10. So every could be, but it might not be. It could also be division. By a factor of. 6 multiplied by a factor of 5. So that could be multiplication. Goes into, that's not multiplication. What about product? Product could be multiplication. Average, no. What about each? For each 100 units, I will have to pay $10. So if I get 10 units, how much do I do? Context will determine whether that is division or multiplication. Times is always multiplication. Per and rate are division. Split or cut into are also division. Okay, so for the last one, we're going to highlight all the words that mean division. Quotient does mean division. Every might or might not. For every 10 units, I need to remove, or I need to, for every 100 classes, I need 10 people in each class. So that would be a division. By a factor of, okay, I'm going to divide 100 by a factor of 5. Goes into 10, goes into 20 2 times. Average means we've taken the total and we divide by the number of data points. Per and rate are division. Cut or split into are division. So as we're looking at this, different words can mean different things. The important part is that we read the problem and understand the context. So now we've got 5 problems to do. If you feel comfortable doing them on your own, go for it. If not, we'll work through it together. 12 more than a number is 17. So, do I know what the number is? Nope. If I don't know what the number is, I use begins with a V. Variable is correct. So what variable shall we use for the first number? Well, X is usually the one used most commonly. So 12 more than X is equal to 17. Is that the only way I can write it? No. I could have actually switched it around and started with the X, adding 12 more, so I have X with 12 more is equal to 12. This is because addition is commutative. Commutative means order does not matter. Okay. The difference of a number and 45 is 12. This time, difference tells us that it is subtraction. Subtraction is not commutative. So I need to start with the number. These are not the same number. I can't use X again. So I'm going to use Y. Y minus 45 is equal to 12. Okay, because it's not commutative, I would not be switching it around. Okay, the next one is what we call a compound sentence. 5 less than 2 times a number is the same as 7. 5 less than 2 times a number. Okay, I've used X, I've used Y. What number shall we use next? How about Z? So 5 less. There's 2 different ways I can set this up. If it's 5 less, I know I have to use a negative 5. Plus 2 times a number. 2Z is equal to 7. Is or is the same as means equal. Okay, that's not the only way I could have written it. I could switch these around because multiplication is commutative. 2Z plus negative 5 is equal to 7. There's actually one last way we can write it if we write it as a subtraction problem. 2Z minus 5 is equal to 7. Okay, so as we're looking at this, all three of those statements, all three of those equations are equivalent. The way you're going to write it is the way that you understand it up here. Okay, for the next one, 2/5 of a number is -2. How do we write the fraction 2/5? 2/5. Okay, we've used X, Y, and Z. Let's go to the front of the alphabet and we will use A as our variable. Is equal to -2. Okay, let's start thinking about this now. Is A positive or negative? A would have to be negative. 2/5 is positive. If A is positive, I'll get a positive answer. If A is negative, we have a positive number times a negative number gives me a negative. So we know that A is a negative number. Okay, for the last one, 5 times a number decreased by 6 is 29. Pause the video. Can you do this on your own? Hint, you will need a set of parentheses. Okay, I've used X, Y, Z, A, so let's do with B. 5 times a number decreased by 6. B minus 6 is equal to 29. Now, why do we have to put this part in parentheses? Because we don't know what B is. We don't know what that number is. If we don't put it into parentheses, then it will be treated, we will multiply by 5. We'll multiply 5, we'll have 5B, and then we'll minus 6, which is not the same problem. So, whenever it shows you this situation, 5 times and then a number decreased by 6 or a number added to 8, whatever, that has to go into parentheses to create that single number. So, any questions? If you're still struggling, back the video up and listen to it again. How do you know you're successful? I know I am successful when I can translate a phrase or sentence into an algebraic expression or equation. So we are taking words and we are changing them into expressions or equations. What is the difference between an expression and an equation? I'll give you an example. An expression. 2x plus y minus 3. That's your expression. Okay, let's look at an equation. Two x plus y, I almost put a 4 there, did not want a 4, plus y minus 3 equals 10. Okay, so as you're looking at this, what is the difference between an expression and an equation? That equation has the equal sign. An expression you can simplify. An equation you can solve. So, if you are still struggling, go back and watch the video again. After you get done watching the video, make sure that you ask me questions if you still need it. If you still need help, ask questions.